Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to do a detailed review of the new budget smartphone announced by Micromax in India, the Micromax In 2B. So after launching the Micromax In 1B last year, Micromax has launched the second generation of the budget smartphone. Now this comes with quite different hardware. Now we get a 6.52 inches HD plus resolution display. We get a Unisoc T610 octa-core processor. It's a 12 nanometer processor. You get 4 GB RAM as well as 6 GB RAM, 13 plus 2 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front camera and a 5000 mAh capacity battery with 10-watt charging. So that's the quick hardware of the Micromax In 2B. So how good does this device fare in terms of performance, and is it really a good device to buy in this price segment? That's what we are going to talk about in this video. So before getting started, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So first up, let's have a look at the design and build quality. Now if you look at the design of the Micromax In 2B, you can see that this is a fairly good looking device out there. The camera unit has been laid out pretty well. There is a slight projection for the camera unit. The back panel has a design which extends from the camera unit towards the corners. This is kind of a pattern which looks quite good. There is a fingerprint scanner and there is a separation near the camera unit which adds to the beauty of the device. Overall, we feel it's quite a good looking device out there. And the material quality used is also really sturdy. It's a plastic or polycarbonate material, but it's a matte finish and does give a good in-hand feel, and it's not a slippery device. You get the in branding at the bottom. There is also a speaker unit located at the bottom. So overall, we feel design and build quality feels quite okay for the budget segment it is being offered. You get the power and volume keys on the right side. The left side also the SIM tray. This is the dedicated SD card slot included, and you also get a 3.5mm audio jack at the bottom. And thankfully, this device comes with USB Type-C port charging. That's something which Micromax has once again done pretty good in the budget department. Now, apart from that, the device has a drop notch, and the bezels are kind of okayish, I would say, for the budget segment, and it feels quite okay. So in terms of design and build quality, it's a fairly decent looking device out there. The build quality once again feels quite good. Now moving on to the display. Now this device comes with a 6.52 inches HD plus resolution display. Now you can see that the display quality is actually quite good. Now the brightness levels are not very high, but at maximum brightness it is fairly visible even in outdoor conditions, and the display brightness could have been slightly better overall, but we feel for a budget segment it feels quite okay. The colors are really vibrant even for an HD plus budget display. The touch response feels quite smooth, and there is no kind of lagginess in terms of touch response. So overall we feel display has been quite good on this Micromax In 2B. So that's the display aspect. So overall we are quite happy with whatever we offered, at least in the budget segment. Now next is the most important thing, the software experience. Now Micromax, when it came back, it employed the stock Android experience, or rather plain and stock UI, no third-party apps installed whatsoever, and this device follows the same strategy, clean and stock Android experience, no bloatware, absolutely no bloatwares, and no third-party apps installed. Now in fact only other app which is available is probably the FM radio and a sound recorder. Otherwise it's a very clean and stock UI. Now Micromax is also promising updates for this device on a regular basis, so that's something which is good offered by Micromax. And the software experience is definitely good. Now you don't get customization options like you see on the custom UIs, but here you get a very plain and stock Android experience, although there are some additional options being offered here. So you can see the settings panel has some decent options included. The intelligent assistance is something which offers additional options like quickly open the camera, lift to check the phone, fingerprint functionality, 3-pointer to take screenshot, flip to mute. So some additional options are there, but customization options are very limited. So if you are a person who wants blot-free UI and you want the stock Android experience, the Micromax In 2B makes really good sense in this budget segment. Now talking about the performance. Now this device is powered by the Unisoc T610 octa-core processor, which is a 12 nanometer processor. Now the Unisoc is a brand which is not much used in India, although their processors are not really common in India. Now this is a new processor, Unisoc T610, which has a benchmark score of around 1,75,000, which is a decent benchmark score for this price segment, and this is comparable to the Helio G80. That's what Infinix claims. So that's the processor aspect. Now in terms of day-to-day experience, being a budget smartphone, it does fairly well in terms of day-to-day experience. We do not see any sort of lags happening, and it was responsive more or less because of stock Android and a decent chipset. Again, this is a new processor, so we are not sure about how it will perform over a period of time. That we need to wait and see. But if you look at the gaming experience, gaming on a budget, that's what many people may be looking at. We tried the BGMI game, or rather the PUBG game on this device. It was playing quite well actually. You can see the graphic options as well. It was playing quite well in the initial stages. In fact, we didn't see any sort of lag happening as such, although you don't get higher frame rate obviously because it's a budget smartphone, but it was playing quite well. That was quite surprising. But then after a period of time, like around 20 to 25 minutes after playing, the game actually quit without any sort of notification because the heating was slightly over, because it reached almost 47 degrees and the game quit itself. So it definitely is not a device for heavy gamers. Obviously you can't play games over a longer period of time, especially the heavy games, but for casual games this should work. So that's the performance side. Now moving on to the other aspect, you get a fingerprint scanner on the back panel, which is fairly good, which does the job of unlocking your device, and the face unlock is also quite acceptable. Now next is the calling functionality. This device comes with dual SIM card. You get a dedicated SD card slot included. Now there are two variants available, 4GB RAM and 64GB storage, 6GB RAM and 64GB storage, and the RAM is LPDDR4X RAM and eMMC 5.1 storage is offered. So that's the storage and the RAM options. Now call quality, this device has dual SIM card and there is 4G LTE offered and dual VoLTE offered, so it's quite good in terms of call reception. We tried with Jio and Vodafone, we didn't see any sort of issues here. Now moving on to the cameras. This is one thing which many look at even at the budget segment. You get a 13 plus 2 megapixel rear camera, and you get a 5 megapixel front camera included. Now let's straight away look at the camera samples offered. Now here are some of the samples here taken with the Micromax in 2B. It's fairly decent experience out there. You may not get exceptional results obviously because of the price segment it is being offered. It's a decent camera, and I would say better to go with the HDR mode enabled, because otherwise the shots came out kind of underwhelming in a regular condition. But HDR mode turned out, it provides decent colors, although the saturation levels are slightly on the high side, but it's better to turn on the HDR mode, and decent experience you get, especially in terms of daylight conditions. But when it comes to low light experience, again this struggles a lot, and this is definitely not a device for low light photography, and you can get decent results and you can use the flash included. So that's the camera. Now selfie camera was kind of average, I would say, not the best 5 megapixel camera out there, but you can get some decent results. So overall camera, we feel it's not a strong point of the device, but in the budget segment this won't disappoint as such. But if you're looking for a great performance in camera in the budget segment, this is definitely not a great device. Now talking about the battery, so this device comes with 5000 mAh capacity battery, and this is really good in terms of battery life, although you do get only 10 watt charging, which is kind of normal in the budget segment. The charging will take a lot of time obviously because it's a 10 watt charger, but the 5000 mAh capacity battery performs really well, and you can easily get more than a day of battery life, almost like 1.5 days we got in our regular testing. So it's very good in terms of battery life. So summing up, should you buy the Micromax in 2B? Now priced at 7,999 for the base 4GB RAM and 64GB storage, and 6GB and 64GB storage variant is priced 8,999. This is definitely a good pricing actually. 7,999, you get a good HD plus resolution display, good build quality, decent set of cameras, good battery life, clean and stock Android experience. So anyone looking for an entry level or budget smartphone, the Micromax in 2B makes good sense, and it's a good overall package, although there are some issues like heating while extreme gaming, but again gaming is not a strength of this device. Camera performance could have been a tad better, but again you can't expect a lot at 7999, but for what it is being offered, the Micromax in 2B makes a decent buy overall in this price segment. So that is a detailed review of the Micromax in 2B. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.